A hearty welcome to Joe Donlon, the new evening news anchor for WGN. How are you?
Jason, I'm great. It's an honor to be here with you guys. I'm a big fan of your team and the Sox and this broadcast team, too. Every time I sit in a radio booth like this, I feel like I just need to go to the announcer voice. So a rather inauspicious start for the Sox this afternoon.
You've been watching Brockmire, haven't you?
And this is television, so we'll go with that for a bit.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
What's it like to be here in Chicago? You spent a lot of time in Portland.
Yes, it's amazing. For me, it's like being home. I grew up in St. Louis, and I went to Marquette. I spent the last 20 years in Portland, but, you know, and there really were few things that would have gotten me out of Portland, but this was one of them. Chicago and WGN, which I grew up watching, you know, back in the Superstation days, Steve. You know, I hate when people tell me I've been watching you since I was a kid, but I've been watching you for many years. And to be in Chicago, I drive into the skyline every night and can't believe I'm here.
Well, tell us about the first pitch, because it's a little different than anybody is used to, and tell us what it was like.
It was a little bit like that, in the dirt, just a little low, but I like to say it was just, I was trying to keep it low and inside, and in my defense, it was over the plate. I just needed maybe another foot or two, and I was told on the way in you need to aim high, and you know how that goes, Steve.
I do.
Pitcher. So, yeah, and I juggled a little bit to begin, just to maybe take the edge off. Oh, here we go, yes. So I thought that might help me relax a little bit. And oh gosh, that looks terrible. What is wrong with
it? Felt better than it looked, didn't it?
It felt better than it looked. We need to burn that tape. Yes.
Well, as a southpaw, just get the ball over the plate and you can find a job here. That's really the key to that.
Were you nervous because Skilling was here? Is that what it was?
You know, Skilling, I've said it before. I was with him at the Buckingham Fountain when we turned that on. It's like hanging out with Elvis. He is, you know, he loves the weather. I mean, he lives for it. I ran into him in the parking lot the other night after the late news, and I said, have a good night, Tom. And he said, well, Joe, it's going to be a great night. We've got a high-pressure system out west to DeKalb and down south to Kankakee and a high cumulonimbus. And the next thing I knew was 2 in the morning, and I hadn't said a word.
He's a unique character, and he does indeed love the wind, and weather day is the best day of the year for him. And today he had a very good crowd out here.
He did. Well, he's the nicest guy in the world. I mean, seriously, every time
that ball is hit hard to left, and it is out of here. So a home run for Mancini.
We would blame this on you, except that we gave up 4 in the first anyway before you got here. So this is just in keeping with what's happening today.
For the record, I've seen 2 Sox games so far this year, and one of them was the game where Davidson hit the 2-run homer in the 8th to win it over the Rays. The other one was that Houston game we'll forget about. But no, I was saying Tom is the nicest guy. Every time he leaves the set, it's like he's not going to see you for another 2 months. Joe and Micah, it's great to see you. You guys take care of yourselves and have a wonderful night. And you're like, Tom, you've got another hit in 10 minutes. What are you talking about?
What is it like being back on a station that people love so much, especially with, you know, the morning news crew and those folks? They have their hijinks, right?
They do. It's what really attracted me to WGN, and I was so thrilled to get the call from them. I knew Mark Zapelsa. I went to Marquette with him, and I called him last fall and said, hey, congratulations on your retirement. And he called me back the next day and said, I don't know if you have any interest, but they're still looking. So I sent a reel in, and the next thing I knew, I was here for an audition.
That ball's hit well right center field. Angles back on it at the wall. Adam takes a big hit at the wall, and the ball gets up and out for Adam Jones.
Oh, that was a hard hit. Right into the fence.
Solo homer for Jones. Back-to-back home runs for the Orioles.
They don't have the 10-run rule, do they?
Not yet, but they're thinking about it. Home run number 9, RBI number 25. So things not going particularly well, and Adam Engel down for the count. He went up valiantly to try to make the effort here, but unfortunately he loses the glove, and the baseball is over the wall anyway. But a great attempt, coming just a little short.
No, looks like he's okay. That's good.
By the way, you got a chance to, I'm told, hang out with the morning news crew and have a little fun.
Oh, good grief. You're going to pull this out? Yeah, the breakdancing? Right. Yeah, so I just thought I'd ruin my credibility the first day I was on the job.
Well, you're going to fit in here perfectly.
That is a fun crew. And you're right. It is sort of, like I was saying, what brought me here and make me so excited is it's sort of an irreverent island, WGN.
What's happening here?
There's like I was teaching Paul Conrad how to do a backspin, but he
a roundhouse kick for
yes,
you?
but see, then we translated that onto the ground, and but anyway, yeah, that was my first day on the job, I think, with the morning show. But
you're lucky it wasn't your last day.
No, for me, what blew me away was I told my wife it'll take years for me to establish myself here, and it took. I wasn't even on the air yet. People were stopping me on the street just based on the promos WGN were running, which shows the power and the reach of that station. I couldn't believe it. The city has welcomed me with open arms, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be here.
Well, you're going to find it to be a great city. I originally got here in 1973. And it was just a welcoming city. The people are very nice here. You're with an iconic television station. I've been involved with them for many, many years. And I can tell you that eventually you're going to find your name up and your face up on the wall. Because if nothing else, you got to work with Dan Roan. Dan Roan is a legend, certainly, and a great sports guy. He's been around seemingly forever. But guys spend a lot of time here when they get here. And congratulations for getting here. I think it's wonderful. And you couldn't be with nicer people and a greater station than WGN.
Absolutely agree. And you're right. For me, to be on that set and to have a seat at that table, it's almost like an out-of-body experience, really, to be sitting next to Skilling and Roan. And Mike, who's been there 20 years. I mean, between the four of us, there's, I think, more than 130 years of experience on that desk. And they've been great. They've welcomed me, and I already feel like I'm right at home with them. And like I said, to be sitting next to them, is that gone too?
No. That's good news.
It is gone, but it's foul, fortunately, and that was a blast.
No, but it is. I mean, that's exactly right. It's a tight-knit. It's such a healthy atmosphere. The people are so happy. Everybody's dancing half the day. I mean, I just feel like I've walked into an amazing situation.
Have you been on Pat Tomasulo's show yet?
Not yet, no. But I have a feeling I may be at some point. They saw the breakdancing clip, and I think they were interested, but we'll
you know, he is a man of the people.
He is a man of the people. Very funny. It's just a great shop. It really is, and I can't say enough how thrilled and honored I am to be there at this stage. I mean, I'm 55, Steve. I wish, you said you got here in '73. I wish I could have gotten here 10 years ago, because it's just such an amazing city. And I feel like for me, it's going to be a great way to run my career out here. If it's 10 years or, hopefully a little more, maybe my name will be on the plaque next to yours and Bozo.
Well, Bozo's big, though. In fact,
did you say his and Bozo?
Yeah, he's right next to Bozo.
Are you? Yeah, actually underneath Bozo. He's elbowing me in the top of the head, which I think was intentional. We're gonna have to petition to get that mural changed.
Yeah.
We got to get the grand prize game buckets here to play in the booth. I think. Can you hook us up with those from Bozo? Get the buckets
Let's
here.
Do it.
Bob Borwald told us that they're somewhere in the museum portion of the WGN offices.
The bowels. If you guys want to make it happen, I'm sure Bob can.
In the air to right field, and this drops in front of Polka, so it's a one-out base hit. Davis coming up. What are you most excited about in coming to Chicago and learning about the city?
Well, for me, a lot of it is the sports. I mean, Portland's a great town. You're an hour away from Mount Hood. You're an hour away from the coast. It's a beautiful city. Just the Blazers, really, and the Timbers in MLS. For me here, the minute I got here, I came to 2 Cubs games, 2 Sox games, saw the season finale of the Bulls. I can't wait to see the Blackhawks. To be in a major league city like this is really exciting for me. One of my highlights, I played hockey for Marquette, and one of my highlights was to play with the Blackhawk alumni in 1994, which was just a thrill.
Could they still skate?
Yeah. Stan Mikita, Pitt Martin was there. Murray Bannerman was our goalie. Al Secord was there. And Jerry Korab, Cliff Coral, Ivan Boldarev. Reg Fleming was our coach. And he came into the locker room, and they were short guys. So they had the coach of the Arizona team that they were playing asked me if I play with the Hawks, and I said, "Are you kidding?" So Reg came in and said, "What position you play?" I said, "I play left wing." And he said, "Okay, good. You're playing defense with Magnuson." And I said, sure, absolutely. Are you kidding? So I played the whole game with Magnuson on defense, and it was the thrill of a lifetime. These guys, half of them are smoking heaters in the locker room in between periods. It's like, speaking of which, there's a picture of Dick Allen on Skip Parker's sports board, right, of him in the dugout smoking a heater. That was common back when you were playing, right?
Well, for Dick it was, because he had his set of rules, and Chuck Tanner had a set of rules for the rest of the White Sox players at that time.
Joe, we got to step aside. Thank you for dropping by. Congratulations.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Good luck to you.
Joe Donlon, evening news anchor for WGN, all-around great guy. Sox make a pitching change. Join us after this.